Participants who registered. Thank you. To participate in today's call. Okay, so you just saw that notification that we are now recording this meeting, and I'd like to welcome you again to the information call for the Maryland Partners in Policymaking Program. And we can change the slide. So I'd like to thank our partners on this initiative first and foremost. The Maryland Developmental Disabilities Council that is represented by Chris Rogers, Director of Engagement on this call, and you'll see his recorded message in a moment. And People on the Go, Maryland, that's a team of James, Tracy, and Matt, who is the executive director of People on the Go. And Matt, we'd like to invite you to say a few words. Matt, if you're talking, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they must have changed some settings in Zoom. Things look different. But good afternoon. My name is Matt Rice. As Andy said, I'm the executive director of People on the Go Maryland, which is Maryland's statewide self-advocacy organization ran for and by those with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities. And we have such a special place in our hearts for um, partners in policymaking at POG because so many of our leaders have gone through partners in policymaking before they became leaders, including our current deputy director and director of training, Ms. Tracy Wright, and our former executive director, who many of you may know or have heard of, Mr. Ken Capone. Through partners, you will embark on an incredible journey where you will learn about the history of the advocacy movement, how laws are made at the state and federal level, and really what we can do as people with disabilities, families, and allies during what is a critical time in the history of the disability rights movement. So I encourage you all on this call um, to participate in partners or encourage those whom you think might be good candidates to apply. Uh, and we look forward to seeing you and working with you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Matt. And thanks for the partnership. It's really a pleasure to work with People on the Go of Maryland. So next, we'd like to show you a video message and welcome from Chris Rogers that's embedded to our slide deck. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up right now.
Hi, I'm Chris Rogers, the Director of Engagement for the Maryland Developmental Disabilities Council. The Council is an independent state agency. We create change to make it possible for people with developmental disabilities to live the lives they want with the support they need. We are so excited to work with the ARC Maryland and People on the Go for another year of Partners in Policymaking. We are always proud to support the Partners program and love watching people across our state grow as advocates. If you're a person with a developmental disability or a family member interested in increasing your leadership and advocacy skills, Partners is a great opportunity to do so. We look forward to watching this year's class of partners learn and grow together.
Great. Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate your partnership as well. And next, I would like to introduce you to the ARC Maryland team. Several are present on this call tonight. First, Sharon Doles is our Deputy Executive Director, who often helps with logistics for the program. And Natalie Brooks, who's also on the call, is the Director of Education Initiatives and Partnerships. And Natalie oversees the Empowering Partners component of the program as well. Dominique Palmer is not on the call tonight, to my knowledge, but Dominique is the advocacy specialist who shares her lived experience as a person with disabilities to support the Empowering Partners groups for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And Luke Chasse, also not on the call tonight, but you would meet him, if you joined the class. Supports the program through communications, developing materials and material modifications like large print, and on-site support. On the next slide, we'll get into our agenda review. On this call, we're going to provide a brief overview of the program, the history and importance of the program, and the commitment one makes to be a part of it. We will also highlight the work of some who have completed the series of the training series and what they're doing now. We'll talk about the program schedule and available accommodations for people who need them. And we'll provide some questions and answers that we've received in previous information sessions that we hope may answer some of your questions. After our presentation today, we'll have the opportunity for additional questions and answers. So if you have a question while we're in the middle of the presentation, either put your question in the chat or hold your question until we pause. Can we move to the next slide, please? So about the program, first, what exactly is Partners in Policymaking? Well, Partners is an innovative, competency-based leadership training program that's intended for adults with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities, also known as IDD, and parents, siblings, or grandparents of people with IDD. The Partners in Policymaking program first emerged in the late 1980s in Minnesota as a leadership training program rooted in addressing the issues faced by people with developmental disabilities and their families. And this program has been updated and modernized annually since that time to remain ever relevant for today's world and needs. In Maryland, since the beginning of the initiative here, we have graduated over 500 partners who have gone on to serve in government, work on commissions, support their local CCACs, create nonprofits or consulting services for families. Some have gone on to start their own podcasts or blogs, or just to be incredible advocates and advocacy leaders on local, state, and national levels. Our most recent Partners in Policymaking class just graduated last month, and they are already on their way to doing great things across Maryland. So you can take a look at their yearbook, which my coworker Sharon will be dropping into the chat through a link. The goal of Partners in Policymaking is to educate participants on how to best advocate for and impact change, and to develop positive relationships with those who make policy, to become true partners in the policymaking that happens locally, statewide, and nationally to influence positive changes for people with IDD and their families. So we can go to the next slide. The program commitment. To ensure broad access to Maryland Partners in Policymaking as an opportunity, we've designed the class to include a mixture of online via Zoom like this, classes, and in-person training opportunities. You'll also have opportunities to meet others in the field by participating in our statewide advocacy events that we do with our partners. We have structured each engagement to be highly interactive and informative with subject matter expert presenters and facilitators from across the nation and even internationally. Our first class this year will be a 2-day retreat in orientation and session on leadership essentials and the history of disability policy. The session will be held at our training center located in Columbia, Maryland on Saturday, November 1st in person, and the second day will be virtual on Sunday, November 2nd. Following this opening retreat, the partner sessions will be held monthly through the 10-month series, mainly in person with a few virtual opportunities, culminating with a graduation close to a full year from now on September 11th, 2026. Throughout the series, class participants will develop core competencies. A participant will learn how to become a stronger, better equipped advocate, understand policymaking and what's behind it, and state level political processes. They will obtain knowledge to help themselves, their loved ones, and others to make a difference in their home communities. And they will build relationships and create a future network for effective change. When we've surveyed people who have gone through this class in the past, the most appreciated topics and interests among the class participants from our post-session surveys include lessons on disability rights and the history, futures planning and available supports to families, increasing inclusion in all aspects of daily life, public benefits and supports, inclusion and belonging in school, equity issues in healthcare, employment, housing, community living, funding, Social Security, voting, you name it, and early childhood intervention. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Natalie, who's going to walk us through some frequently asked questions and answers. Natalie?
Thanks, Andy. So throughout the years, we have received several questions about the program. And here are some of the most common questions that come up and maybe some things that you're curious about as well. And the document that I'm reviewing is also linked to our website, so you can take another look at it after the call. But the first question is there a specific philosophical point of view that speakers and presentations will share? The core philosophies are self-determination and empowerment. Best practices, current philosophies on each session topic, and policy will depend on the speaker's perspective and the movement or policy being presented. So who is eligible to apply for the program? Eligible applicants include adult advocates with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities and adult family members of people with IDD, including siblings and grandparents of persons with IDD, as well as parents. To be considered for the program, you must be over the age of 18 and live in the state of Maryland. The next question is, what are the criteria you look for in applicants? We look for people that are invested in making a change, not only in their own life, but in the lives of people with IDD. So in the past, we have had parents from all walks of life and people with a variety of differing abilities involved in the program. You must have an interest and passion for advocacy and for making positive change with and for people who have disabilities. We are also looking for people who may have had some experience in advocacy previously, but who are not advocacy experts. And as the group learns together, you will all become experts by the end of the program. So some questions about the application itself. When I click the link to apply, it takes me to a website that says Google Forms. Yes, you are in the right place. Once again, we are using a program called Google Forms for the Maryland Partners in Policymaking application. Please notify us if you are having difficulty, as we do not want this to be a barrier for you to submit your application. And here is a picture of what the application looks like when you open it up on Google Forms. We want to ensure equitable access to the application process for everyone. So please let us know as soon as possible if you need assistance or would like to complete the application in a different format than we are currently offering. Sharon has put a link to the application in the chat. You could also use your phone to scan the QR code. If you're new to QR codes, that stands for Quick Response Code. And it's the kind of pixely box on the screen there. And you would need a smartphone to access that with a camera. So you would open up your camera, point it at the QR code on the screen, and hold your phone there for a few seconds. It might take you directly to the application, or you might need to actually click on the link based on what type of phone you have. And then it should take you directly to the application. But I'm also available if you have technical difficulties accessing the application, or if you need someone to assist you with typing your responses. So the next question, I've already completed my application. When will I hear something? So we will be in touch with everyone who applies to be part of the program. And we will reach out individually by email after the application closes on October 6th, or earlier if we receive your application before the deadline and have questions about any of your responses. So please provide as much information as you can on your application. Once the selection committee reviews all of the applications and finalizes their decisions, we will promptly reach out to all of the applicants by October 10th to let them know if they will be invited to be part of the 2025-2026 Maryland Partners in Policymaking cohort. Next question, how many people are you looking to enroll in the class? So our goal is to enroll between 30 to 35 partners, and this includes advocates with IDD and family members from around the state to ensure active engagement in the class and the development of lifelong connections. So the next question is about the schedule. So how important is it to be able to attend every session of the Partners Program? And this schedule is actually on 2 slides, and it's about a 10-month commitment, as Andy mentioned. Attending every session of the program is incredibly important. So on the screen, we have listed the schedule for the program. It is also available on our website. And I believe Sharon has put a link to the Partners in Policymaking page on our website in the chat. We are looking for class members with a dedication for taking full advantage of the investment in them and their intention to attend all sessions, which is why we like to give you the dates up front with the application so that you can adjust your schedule accordingly. We have designed the sessions to incorporate frequent breaks and will consider accommodations people may request to enhance their fullest experience with partners. Of course, even with the best intentions, life happens, and this may impact your ability to take a class. If and when that happens, we will do our best to accommodate you to obtain missed material. What matters is that you come into the process fully intending to attend 100% of the courses. Because being a partner is based on a person having achieved certain competencies, by the end of the program, participants with frequent absences will not be able to graduate from the program. So what are some accommodations that might be available to me? We expect that many of our applicants will have what they need to participate in the Maryland Partners in Policymaking Program, but there may be participants who need additional assistance or accommodations such as technology for participation, respite care for a loved one during class time that is not already provided under a state or federal program, adapted transportation to in-person classes, large print, or materials printed on non-glare paper, and other supports to participate. If you have a need for an accommodation, please indicate that on your application form so we can be in touch. And finally, how much does it cost to be part of the Partners in Policymaking program? So your time in class, in travel to and from workshops, and outside of the class, working on partners materials has value, and we consider this as your contribution. The Maryland Partners in Policymaking program is free for participants. With that said, the ARC Maryland and the Maryland Developmental Disabilities Council have estimated that each spot in the program is valued at close to $6,000 per person. Being a part of the Maryland Partners in Policymaking program is like a scholarship opportunity. Class members are chosen because of the potential seen in them to be lifelong advocates for people with disabilities.
Thanks, Natalie. So the last question we have is, who can I contact for more information about Partners in Policymaking? For additional questions about the Maryland Partners in Policymaking program, you can reach out to Natalie, who was just speaking. Sharon Doles will be adding our contact information in the chat. And you can also check out the 16 stories about partners sparking change for Marylanders with developmental disabilities, a publication to give you a sense of what people have learned through the program and how they value it. Hopefully, reading these stories and going through these resources that we've provided with you with tonight will help you make your decision. Okay, so we have some time left, and we'd be happy to take some questions from the audience if you have any.
I
So
do
please,
have one question.
sure.
I think I have to miss, like, I'm in school right now, so I would have to miss 3 sessions actually because I can't make the orientation because I'm gonna be in Vermont that weekend. So actually, and then the other two, vacation, the other one is a vacation. The second one's a vacation. The third time I'm in class that day. I would likely be in class that day. So is that too many sessions to miss?
I think you should call Natalie and talk through the timing of each because yeah, if I answered you just on the surface of that question, I would say yes, that's too many. But there might be things we can do where you can catch up certain material. Or if you're just going to miss part of a class, so I would want her to have the opportunity to hear about your conflicts. Would that be okay? Can you reach out to Natalie?
Yeah, and I'd like to know what kind of assignments program participants take on. So what do they take on, the program participants?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Everyone in the program gets with a group of other people to create what we call a capstone project. And so if you click on the link that was provided in the chat that had the yearbook, you can see some examples of the capstone projects that partners created together last year. Other than that, it's not a heavy assignment opportunity. A lot of what we do in class. From time to time, there's assignments to read something outside of class or to watch a video outside of class, but there's not tests and papers to write and things like that. The biggest assignment that I think you might want to think about is the capstone project, and people really enjoy that project. Great, thank you so much.
Is this a program that runs every year?
It has run this is the 8th year that we've done it since we brought it back to Maryland. We, years ago, the ARC Maryland and DD Council and People on the Go did this together. And then there was like a 10-year break because funding priorities shifted with the DD Council. And so this is the last year of their strategic plan. And so we aren't guaranteed that we're going to be able to offer it next year, but we know we can offer it this year. So thank you. We will try, Did you have any more questions, Shelby, or was that it?
That was all the questions I had. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Timothy, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I just have 2 quick questions. If you could, and I might have missed it, if you could explain a little bit about what the selection process is looking like. I can tell that there are a number of people interested in this opportunity. So I was curious about what the selection process looks like, and if you are not a participant, what the upfront cost could be if selected, and what that process looks like.
Okay, thank you for those questions. The way that we make selections are we look for a well-rounded class with representation from across the state. We also look for an equal balance of people with lived experience, so intellectual and developmental disabilities, and family members, because we learn best when we learn from each other. And we will also be just looking for people who have a variety of interests so we can well round the class. So there's a selection committee that involves representatives from the ARC, representatives from the DD Council, and representatives from People on the Go of Maryland. And every year it's a tough decision, but I think the way that we do our scoring is pretty well refined.
Mhm.
Yeah, but if you have any questions about if you know how to best answer one of the questions on the application, or if you're unsure, please do reach out because we're really happy to help.
Gotcha. Appreciate that, and I appreciate your answer. And my
And
second
about the
question.
cost, I'm sorry, you
Oh,
asked about the
I'm sorry.
cost. There is no cost to participants in the program.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm certainly going to apply tonight, and I'm hopeful to be selected.
Well, thank you so much. Well, these are great questions. I really appreciate this. So does anybody else? Charles, do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so at this point. I mean, it sounds like, um, wonderful opportunity. I'm actually in the, process. I've actually started the, application process. I've got, little ways to go. Should be, I'll definitely be, uh, I'm definitely interested and we'll be, there and looking forward to trying at least to make all the classes. So
That sounds fantastic. Thank you.
uh,
Alex, did you have a question?
Actually, I'll call Natalie tomorrow and talk about this.
Okay.
As a question for her.
Okay, that sounds great. You found her contact information in the chat, I hope.
Well, I took a picture of it online and I have the other one.
Okay. That sounds perfect. All
oh,
right.
I'm sorry. I will need large print as well.
Okay, that's great. So Charles, there's a section on the application that says what do you need to be able to access the class? Just write large print in there so we can be prepared for that.
Okay. Yep.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? This is your opportunity. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up then and give you back a few more minutes to your evening. So thank you all so much again for attending this information call. And we look forward to receiving your applications. Natalie, do you have any final words before we close the night?
No, I just get excited every time there are new people that we haven't yet connected with joining these calls. And I really encourage you all to, even if you're kind of on the edge and thinking, is this for me? Please do still submit your application because I think you will learn a lot about yourself and surprise yourself as part of the process. And we really look forward to meeting everyone.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night now.
Good night.
Thank you.